The program you're about to see is made possible through the financial support of people like you. We hope you'll join the thousands of people who make our programming possible. Become an In the Life member by clicking on the Donate Now button on our website. Since 1981, Barney Frank has been representing Massachusetts' 4th Congressional District. As chairman of the Financial Services Committee and a prominent LGBT leader, Congressman Frank sits down with friend, author, and treasurer of the Democratic National Committee, Andrew Tobias, to discuss politics, coming out as a member of Congress, and the future of LGBT leadership.
As you well know, I've been your friend and admirer, but a little afraid of you for 44 years. And you've heard me tell this story a million times, but I thought I was the only person wired the way I was in the whole college and probably the whole world. I think it wasn't until junior year, maybe even senior year, I kind of noticed that you were looking at the same guys I was looking at. I said, oh my, there is somebody else. I wasn't sure I could make it out of college in the world. Did you have those feelings that you just couldn't imagine where your
I did.
career
It's
would go?
interesting. I realized I was gay when I was 13, which was 1953. A year after I realized I was gay, Dwight Eisenhower, who was not a vicious guy, sort of a mainstream conservative, promulgated an executive order that said those of us who were homosexuals, or whatever phrase they used, perverts was actually the one they most used, couldn't get a security clearance. He was my government. I'm 14 years old, and my government has just announced that I am an unreliable person. I can't be trusted with any information important to the government. At the time, I was also aware of the inhibition that came from being Jewish, because anti-Semitism was still a factor. So I had always been interested in politics. It did become clear to me that I couldn't have a political career. So that's why instead of going to law school when I graduated from college, I had decided I went on to graduate school to get a graduate thesis and to teach in the academic world.
And you were just chaste, right?
Yeah, no, I was afraid to tell anyone that I was gay. So, yeah, I just avoided sexual activity because I was afraid to reveal myself. Because in 1968, in January, I became the chief assistant to the mayor of Boston, and I had a particular portfolio for liberal issues, race and environment, women's rights. I was desperately eager to find a gay rights movement in Boston, both because I wanted to help and because, Frank, I thought this was a way that I could meet other gay men.
Having still never told anyone that you were gay.
I wrestled with it and said, well, I don't have the courage to acknowledge to people that I am gay, but I will never participate in perpetuating the hypocrisy of being anti-gay.
This is the difference between a closeted Democrat and a closeted Republican.
Well, that's exactly right. Very, very well put.
When did you think you could, when did it occur to you that you would be in front of the camera running for office?
I made the decision, this is now in June of '71, I'm making the conscious decision, I'm going to be in politics, not in academia, but it's as an aid to other people. And a couple of friends of mine called me and said, you should run. And I said, gee, I can't be a candidate. And they said, well, maybe not in a normal place, but this is the
Massachusetts.
This is the Back Bay at Beacon Hill. It wasn't predominantly gay, but it was sort of early yuppie. It seemed like I could get a pass from the normal rules and win there. And what happened was there was the Homophile Union of Boston, which was the men, and the Daughters of Bilitis, which was the women. And they sent out a joint questionnaire to legislators running for office in 1972, candidates for the state. I said, would you support gay rights? And I got to be the main sponsor by process of elimination. I was the only one who said yes. My vow to myself was I can't walk away from it. I became the first person in Massachusetts history to file gay rights legislation. And it was during the mid-'70s when a couple of people I was working with on the gay rights issue made the same observation you did. It was clear from who I was looking at, who I was interested in, who I responded to, that I was gay. So in the late '70s, I started the retail coming out process. You tell this one, you tell that one, and the individual says to you, thank you for telling me, and you shouldn't have worried. This is 30 years ago. I assume it's different now. I love you, and I care about you, and you shouldn't have worried. Why did you think anybody who loved you would care? Why were you worried? There was no reason of concern. Don't tell your father. Or don't tell your grandmother. There was always this, don't worry, except.
At that point, now you're a congressman. How many people in the world, did your sister know that you were gay?
Yeah. So I got elected in 1980. It was a close race in both the primary and the final. And the fact that I was Jewish and gay and not a conventional politician held me down, so I barely won, but I was able to get through. So I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do in Washington. I'll be publicly closeted, but privately I'll live the life of a gay man. I'll associate with and socialize with other gay men. What I found, of course, was that it didn't work. You cannot be somewhat prominent, as you are automatically as a member of Congress, even as a freshman, and then have a normal social life as a gay man. At one point in 1986, a gay Republican former congressman who'd been one of these closeted anti-gay conservatives, Bob Bauman, wrote a book, and he repented of his anti-gay activity. And in the book, he outed me. And I went to Tip O'Neill and said, I want you to know that there's a book out that says that I'm gay. And he said, oh, Barney, don't be listening to that BS. I mean, they're always spreading those rumors about us. Who cares? I said, well, the problem, Tip, is that it's true. And he sort of recoiled, not personally, and said, oh, Barney, I'm so sad. I thought you were going to be the first Jewish speaker, which was very flattering. He then went back to his office and told Chris Matthews, who was then his press secretary of MSNBC, we better get ready for dealing with the press. They tell me Barney Frank's going to come out of the room.
Come out of the room, not the closet.
They figured they didn't know what the hell he was talking about until they sussed out that he meant the closet.
So will you ever be the first Jewish Speaker of the House?
The problem with being the Speaker is other members have to vote for you. We're not yet at the point in American politics where people from Southern and Mountain and other states, conservative parts of the country, could vote for an openly gay speaker and survive. I was a closeted member of Congress for 7 years. Being a closeted member of Congress is no way to live. Every human being has emotional and physical needs, and if you deny them, I think they make it worse. Being openly gay, being able to bring my partner Jim to the White House and have him as, part of the congressional caucus, it's a great feeling.
What advice do you have for young folks who are thinking, they're LGBT folks, running for office at whatever level, but certainly Congress or the Senate?
Very important. We need more and more people like that. Yes, we have a lot of friends, but there is something about being a member of the committee yourself which helps your argument. We have this saying in Congress on an issue, well, don't take it personally. It's not personal. And every time an LGBT issue comes up, I go to the floor and say, I know we say that we don't take things personally, but some things are personal. This is personal to me. If you vote no, you're saying I'm a bad person. You're saying that people ought to be able to fire me because Jim and I are in love and et cetera. So it's important for us to be there. Here's the point. If you're gay or lesbian, don't worry about the people who are anti-gay or lesbian. They're not going to vote for you. The hell with them. Don't waste your time. The thing you have to deal with is this. There will be people who will say of you, as they used to say of black people, as they would say of women, as they would say of any member of a minority group at that point, it's a kind of a soft bigotry. Well, I'm not against him, but aren't you afraid that that's all he'll care about? Show that the fact that you're gay does not mean that you only care about gay issues. And again, the gay community has to be cooperative with that and say, yeah, we're supportive of you. Now you go out and you show these other people how much you can help on housing or the environment or transportation or healthcare or anything else.